And you're back here with me live, Marian Shanley. I'm joined by two very special guests here at Local Link. And of course, delighted to have somebody who's wearing a lot of bling here. Wayne Hardy, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, Marian. How are you?
I'm really good. What brings you out to here today? For obvious reasons, you're a great supporter of community, proactive work, and this is one that you've been involved in for years as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's a fantastic association. Like it's great to come out here today and to see so many people, hundreds of people who have come on the buses, the Local Link. And I mean, today is a very special occasion, and that's great. And people are meeting. But on a day-to-day basis, you know, a hospital appointment, your shopping, the act of retirement, and much is made nowadays of rural loneliness. And this is exceptional. It's an exceptional thing to have in every community, both Louth, Meath and Fingal.
Yeah. And as a man, do you think it affects men more than women? Do you think this isolation as well? Because women are encouraged, and in groups we tend to encourage each other to get dressed up, to get out, and there's a lot of a support network. We see there's quite a few men in there as well, not just women this year.
There is, yeah, and it's well known that men seem to find it harder to talk to each other. We've opened a very good men's shed in Slane, in my own village, just recently, and the flexibus are starting to feed into that as well. So yes, there is a problem with isolation for a certain aged man within our communities. And I think the flexibus and men's sheds, which are springing up all over the country, will make a huge difference.
Yeah. So tell me about the men's shed, because this is a vital part of the community as well. How does that work? Yeah,
it's absolutely brilliant. It's about a month open. They have up to 40 members now from all over. And the local census, just Slane, it's a population of about 1,500 people, but around it, at a certain age level, there's a high percentages of men, and they're coming in from all the rural communities around Slane, Lobenstown, Dunor, Bow Park, and they're coming in using what is the essential service that is a men's shed, but it's on a scale, it's just fantastic. People should really go down and look at it. It has a fitness room, computer rooms, they play indoor bowls, and they can sit, and they have a fantastic kitchen, and they're linking in with the local LMETB for different courses in computers and so on. So and it will grow, and it's a very big space. And the people who own the mill, which was they made towels up until the early 80s, and they've given over a huge building that was in the old mill, and they're using it, and flexibus are feeding into it. So it's all part of rural regeneration, really.
And for men and independence as well, how important, when obviously I was talking to Rex Lee there a few minutes ago, and he's got limited mobility, he's in a chair at the moment as well, so there could be a lot of users out there as well, and people who could potentially use Local Link as well. How important is it to just connect with Local Link today? Yeah, well, just in relation to disability, I was down in Athy a couple of weeks ago, and they have put in some fantastic facilities for people with disability, and again the Local Link gets to Athy, and then they can use the facilities there. They put in ramps, they put in a fantastic wet room. It's one of the best in the county, if not the country, and so all of this is helping, there's no doubt. Another thing I heard as well is, because we always think this is an age thing, there's a lot of young teenagers availing of this as well. Absolutely, and that is the case. You know, there's people living in the country that may not have cars, and then there's the volunteer car that goes around. So there's a whole host of opportunities there for people in rural areas of all ages, as you said. So listen, you're only 5 months into your role on the board on the County Council in Meath at the moment. How are you getting on? I like it, yeah. It's great. It's a great achievement, and I'm really delighted and proud to be Cathaoirleach Meath County Council. As you said, it's 5 months. I've 7 left, and it's amazing what you see. That I'm a councillor 10 years, and I don't realise all of the stuff that the local authority are involved in. I was told at an event only last week where the local authority could be responsible for 600 initiatives at any given time. There's somebody somewhere working with the local authority on an initiative that you may or may not even know about. And I'm learning more throughout this year. So do you actually sleep? Yes, the odd time. Some people say too much, but I don't think that's the case. No. Well, you've taken on a very powerful role, and obviously showing up today shows you're supporting community. What does it mean to you on a personal level?
Well, when I walked in today, I was quite early, and the room was full, and there was buses and buses coming behind me. That's what's brilliant about today. The amount of people that's in that room, it's quite amazing and vibrant and positive, and people are having a good time.
Yeah. Well, that's all that matters, isn't it, as well? Community, very important. Wayne Hardy, you're brilliant. We'll stay for a second.
Thank you.
Éanna and Éanna, you're very welcome indeed.
Thank you very much indeed.
Listen, what does this mean to you, coming down to something as important as Local Link?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity to get to talk to lots of people for whom the world wouldn't be right if we didn't have a huge amount of people like this. And the fact that they all came out today, I couldn't believe when I walked in, 600 people all sitting there having a good time. It was great, and it's a real tribute to Miriam who organised it, and to the whole Local Link service, that all of these people on a day after Halloween on a Friday can all turn up here in Simonstown, and obviously are going to have a wonderful day between one thing and another. I hear they're not going home till 4 o'clock.
Well, they didn't the last day, so you're in the right room and you get lots of tea and lots of sandwiches as well. But listen, do you feel the days of community have really changed compared to, say, when we were growing up as well? Because I can remember as a child, there was Granny, there was whoever else around us. We're very separated in general in Ireland at the moment. How important is this for people?
Well, this is a great opportunity for all the grannies and granddads to meet other grannies and granddads. What's wrong, I suppose, really, is that the parents, the mums and dads, are hugely busy because the amount of money that's needed to buy a house, to run the way people live, requires that both people have to work. And if both people have to work, then they have all of that time spent working, and all the rest of the time then they spend catching up, which of course in our day, although I must say I worked all my life as well too, so I was that running out the door parent as well, making dinner on Wednesday for Saturday and doing the shopping at lunchtime on Tuesday. So that, I mean, as a consequence, the amount of time that parents have for their children during the week is very little. So then they want their children at the weekend, and then you can't go off and see your grandkids at the weekend because the parents are with them, you know. Yeah. So it's a whole different vibe to the way it was a couple of years ago, or maybe 20, 30 years ago, because of the amount of pressure there is on young people nowadays. It's hard to be a young person nowadays with all the pressure that's involved in it.
Yeah. Listen, you're a very fashionable lady. We could see today she's looking gorgeous as well. There's a lot of ladies in there who probably don't get out too much socially. It's such a great opportunity as well to feel you're connected, and also make a little bit of an effort and get out and have a little bit of fun as well.
Oh yeah, it's great to get up in the morning, have somewhere to go and somewhere to do. I mean, will I bother having a shower? Will I bother putting on my makeup? Oh, but I'm going out. I don't want to look worse than anybody else. So by gum, I am. So like, it makes people look after themselves. Otherwise, wouldn't you just hang around in your dressing gown and slippers until lunchtime? So what does it matter who's going to see you? And that's bad for your psyche. Get up, look in the mirror, put the more makeup over the bags, put on the mascara and your best guna, and off you go, and hold your head up high, and you have other people to talk to. And when you're talking to people, you're not thinking about yourself. You're not thinking, is my knee hurting, or is that pain in my back worse than it was yesterday? You don't even remember these things. You know, you're looking and interested in what other people are doing. You're not there sitting at home wondering, oh, poor me, am I going to be so sad today? I mean, so that the really big cure for all of what ails you, whether it's physical or mental, is to get out, either to get out and meet other people, or indeed, and something I'm always very keen on, is getting out and go for a walk in the woodlands, along the coast, somewhere that you can actually go out and commune with nature, because that really works as well, and we should do more of that too.
And that's something you're very involved in, obviously, nature and the planet and everything too. Do you think that Local Link is also a mental health therapy for a lot of people too, that they will actually get out and do something now that they are able to get out and do something?
Oh, I think so, and the fact that there is a Local Link bus coming to bring them along, you can't have the excuse, oh, it's raining, or there's so much traffic on the roads, we'd take our lives in our hands walking, which they would in some cases. So, I mean, by the fact that Local Link is there and it's flexible enough, I mean, you're not just going to the shops, this Local Link can actually be used to bring people to whatever they wanted to arrange for, and then if it's going, sure, why not? Why wouldn't you come along and join in as well? So I'd say it is the lifeblood of the area around here. I mean, that wasn't something that was around when I was young, because people didn't go so much. You could go on the bikes, you could walk, but nowadays when that's not possible, to have Local Link is an excellent plan.
Right. And now it's in Louth, Meath and Fingal as well, so we're reaching out there. It's definitely starting to expand. And tell me just a little bit about yourself as well, because you're heavily involved in the environment, heavily involved in positive change. For you, where do you go next with your plans and your career, because you're doing so well?
Well, now at this stage, where am I going? Where's anyone going at this stage of their lives? Only doing the best they can. I'm the Vice President of the Tree Council of Ireland, and because you're the Vice President, you get promoted to being the President. So I shall be the President of that now next April for 3 years. So that's great, because trees are the only way that we can actually take CO2 out of the environment. It's easy to put the greenhouse gases up. We burn fossil fuels, we have cattle, we have all of these things. But the only way to get it out is by growing something, by photosynthesis. And if you have a tree that's fully grown, it has 5 tonnes of carbon in it, which is what one family with 2 cars uses in 1 year. So we need 40-year-old trees if they're Sitka spruce. We need 80-year-old trees if they're oak or ash, because that's the amount of... And yet we have so few trees in Ireland. We've only 11% of the country covered in trees, and the European average is 35% or something. So, I mean, County Meath is not exactly jumping out of its skin with trees, because it has such an amount of tillage, of fields. But we have our hedgerows. They're a very important part of the biodiversity of County Meath. So everybody that's here should plant a tree, even one tree, each year if possible. But, don't have to be big, enormous trees. They're not going to start off 70 feet high. They're only going to, if they get too big, you can remove them. They're not a statue. So, we don't have half enough trees in the country. But places then where there are woodlands, how many woodlands are there in County Meath?
Well, you've a man here beside us, who might help.
No, I wasn't asking for you to tell me. I was asking you to point out that there are actually very few, and that an area of woodland, is something that often is set up, as part of a park, rather than mowing the grass, having everything mowed, have a wildlife meadow, have a bit more woodland. A different way of managing things would actually make such a difference. I mean, even here in Simonstown now, I've been up and down judging various things in County Meath all the time, and Simonstown Lane, the lane that just goes down to the houses down there, the people who live along that lane have managed it wonderfully for wildlife. And it's just a lane like any other lane going anywhere. But because the attitude of the people down there is so positive, that this is actually, you could get out of the car and go for a walk down the lane and back, and that would be an experience that would be, and it's safe down there as well, for example. So it doesn't have to be a natural heritage site. It doesn't have to be an ancient woodland of 45 hectares. You can get your native outside walk anywhere you want if you really get your local community to help you set it up.
Absolutely. And anything is possible as well, guys. We're here at Local Link, and it's Louth, Meath and Fingal. I'm joined here by somebody who possibly could plant a few more trees in the county. What do you think about that, Wayne?
Well, just as you were talking, Éanna, I was over at the lands at Louth, Devonish, the people who sponsor the Meath team, and they literally have a 30-hectare farm in Louth, just in the middle of the World Heritage Site, which really is a laboratory where they're growing different grass feeds for the cattle to try and reduce the emissions from the herd. 6 different types of grasses in one section, 12 in another, and the cows look like something out of Star Trek. They're hooked up to emission monitors, but that in time will eventually bring down the emissions, and it's fascinating work. The bit I understood was amazing, but there's so much that is beyond me. But that's in our county, and it's a local man from Owen Brennan from Bow Park, and they're doing extraordinary work, linked with UCD and a university in Holland, and they're a satellite farm, one of 8 in the world.
Come on, now you're the mayor now. I mean, and you only got 7 months left. How many trees are you going to have planted before you leave that everybody will remember they were planted on your watch? Nobody, cows over in Louth are grand, but what are you doing?
Okay, I'll go home and tell my 9-year-old daughter, who loves all of that thing, that we have to plant 2 or 3 trees between now and next June. How's that for you? Because you told me to. Yeah, for each member of the family. That's 4 of us. So that's 3 4s is 12. How's that?
When you're making mayorly speeches all over the county for the next, you tell the people to plant 1 each. I mean, because we have removed half the trees on the earth since people stopped being hunter-gatherers. And it's the only way we have of saving it.
Well, I'll tell you a lovely thing that happened. A few years ago, this lovely initiative, myself and the kids were invited over to Belrat Woods, and we were given free trees. Little tiny, they look like branches to us, and they're now fully fledged trees in our garden, and all of our granddads as well. And I love that for all the walkways that are here in Meath as well, possibly to hand out a collection of just trees that would be so good for children, and it also gets us out into the environment to appreciate the countryside as well. So.
Yeah, the Tree Council of Ireland has given trees to this event. Now, they'll be here next week, they're not here today, and Miriam will obviously make sure anyone who wants them gets a free tree to plant. So, and they might look like sticks or pencils, but from little acorns do mighty trees grow.
Well, they're massive trees now.
Best of luck with your presidency as well.
Well, that'll be next April if we all live that long. Well, Joe McConnell is the president at the moment, and he's doing a grand job. So there's, as the politicians say, there's no vacancy yet.
Well, a little bit about that type of talk.
Well, listen, guys, we're here at Local Link, and it's in Simonstown in County Meath, and of course, it's everywhere at the moment. You're looking at Louth, Meath and Fingal, and we're talking about something very important as well, which is about restoring the nature, the most important parts of our planet back into the ground, which are trees as well. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today. We're delighted to have it.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure we're going to hear much more from Wayne as well about the future of trees in the county, but not just that, the great work you've been done. And well done, get it voted in 5 months in, 7 months to go. I'm sure you're going to achieve a lot as well. And good luck with you as well in everything you do. And here we go back into the room with all the best crack, I'd say, right now.